What?
Chips.
Chips, yeah. Chips.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, have we started? Sorry. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, we're here talking chips and the various varieties from Scotland down to the south of England. No, yeah, that's only because Steve's mentioning chips have just turned up downstairs and he can smell them and he's not allowed anywhere near them.
Yeah, the late shift. I've just ordered chips in for tea and I can smell them. I'm sitting here. I'm starving. I just want to go home and get my tea.
Well, we're going to keep you a little bit longer. So welcome, everybody. We've got Gary and we've got Steve.
Hey, hi, guys.
And me, Rich.C. Hello. So hopefully we'll get a few more people joining us as we go on. But let's crack on and start with our Mediterranean goodies, which we've been showing off for quite a while now. And I believe Steve's got a few bits there. And while Steve's finding those, Gary, inspiration for some of these, where did you look?
The windmill.
Oh, well, Google. I'll tell you what, bear with, because I've got a wodge of, right. Me and my partner went to Croatia and other places over the last few years. And literally, while sat on the plane coming back before and all that sort of stuff, there's bucket loads of sketches. So it is really from trips. Long time ago, because I've got a long time ago, to Greece once with windmills, Spain with windmills. I quite like the windmills, don't know why. Yeah, so that's the inspiration for it. And also there's a number of films which I think we discussed before, bits and pieces with it, which I just thought it was a what do you call it, a theatre of war that, or battle or fun that's never been sort of just pushed out as a nice little bundle of kits. So
now you chose with this range to go for quite a variety of roof types.
Yeah, well, if you have a look at any of the Mediterranean or southern France, Italy, Spain, Greece, they've all got the villages, their towns are just full of different roof types, and it, you know, quite because of, especially Italy, because of earthquakes and volcanoes and ravaging tribesmen, they keep knocking their buildings down. And so, although they're building, different roofs appeared in different ways and different formats. So, yeah.
And you've got a few, Steve, you got a few there that you were floating through before.
I have, yeah.
You open up the farm, take the lid off.
Farm. Yes. So
that's a good example of the different heights and sizes.
There we go. So yeah, so you can get a couple of different levels there, and then we'll end up dropping it on my lap here.
Yeah.
The roofs come off as well.
Yeah.
So access, and then these are all done on the same module. So there is all the roof types. So you could pick and mix between them if you've got the same footprint.
Oh, that piece, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the bits would alternate between them as well, so there's quite a lot of flexibility there. But I like this. This is my new favorite at the moment.
Yeah, there's something about that.
And I believe that piqued your interest there, Gary, as to why you did a certain character.
Yeah, it's a lot of conversations over a long time about the nuttiness of what we're doing, really, with Steve and I. And I quite like, well, firstly, the story of Don Quixote. I've always liked how it changes through different people's iterations and imaginations. It's a good filtration for the world. But we were talking a long time ago about tilting at windmills. It's a bit of our dragon and nutty things. And it's as if somebody had said 10 years ago, 11 for sort of 10 and a bit, 11 for Steve. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we'll have 1,000+ kits, and
yeah, they would have gone. You're a little, and it's a bit of a romance as well. So it sort of melds quite well with the story about a fanciful dream. I mean, when I was a kid, I played with soldiers. Steve, the same. You probably the same. I'm not saying, different worlds, different ages. And so it comes to that sort of mind of, well, you know.
Yeah. And now we've just got a big train set.
More than just a train set.
Yeah.
3,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. It's you know, and so that's where Don Quixote came from, and Sancho Panza. And I've always seen Sancho Panza. He's a bit of a white boy, anyway, bit of on the make in the book. So that's why he's got that pose of, oh God, what are we doing now?
Yeah,
he's a bit of the donkey. He's carrying the load in his mind. You know? And so yeah, it's that sort of thing. And yeah, it's that's where it comes from, really.
Yeah, and I think Steve's got a few goodies there in a box, and they've got quite a nice background.
A little box, first batch of them there. They've all started going out now. So yeah, there's two, isn't there? Two styles.
Yeah, white and black. Because has anybody ever been told your past, Steve? What you used to do for a living?
No.
Oh, right.
No, it's not secret.
Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah, all my years in print.
Yeah. So the actual card is a lino print. I sat down and cut a lino and rolled it. So that's where that came from, and it just fits with the theme too.
It fits with the theme, doesn't it? It's all come together really well, and celebrates a really nice way of celebrating a 10-year sort of partnership there.
Yeah,
fantastic. So as the partnership grows and continues, we've got a few goodies and things to come towards us this next month or two, and we've got an event coming up. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've got the second PATMOCON, which we did it last year, right at the start of lockdown. It was really good fun. We got to speak to people we probably wouldn't have spoken to at normal events in the UK. So we had a lot of people from the States joined us, which was good. So we got the chance to do it all again in 10 days? About 10 days. Yeah. So
the weekend after.
Yeah.
So that's good. Gary's been working away on some new videos that we're going to share around about that time. We're going to do some live stuff, do some Q&As. But the videos all involve some new kits, brand new kits.
Yeah.
So
yes, and I think that's going to be quite exciting for a few. We're going to sneak a couple of those pictures in as we talk a little bit further. But those eagle-eyed of you, I know you noticed something in Gary's second camera window that he's been working on.
Yeah.
And this relates to one of the topics that we're going to be covering, particularly in our PATMOCON videos with stencils and scale. So I believe that's a stencil you're working with there, is it?
I've got new technology as well. Bear with us.
Gary's playing. What's he up to? He's disappearing.
Yeah, well, it means you can see I can actually turn for once and talk at the same. All that sort of game geek people stuff. You know, I thought at my age, come on, brave new world.
Brave new world, Gary. Well done.
Yeah. So we, as everybody knows, this time last year, I was running around like a headless chicken trying to get a book printed, published, and done. And in there's a section on how to use stencils to get textures and things and quickly. And we were, and thanks to certain world events, we got kicked sideways on actually doing them. And so we've actually sort of got back to a little bit of where we were going to be. And so we've got quite a few sort of stencils there. I'm actually, because seeing blank stencils, I'm shaking a tin. Last time I shook a tin today, I threw it across the room behind me.
Across the room, yeah.
I'm just gonna show this because Russell's asked about something. So I'll just do that, and then
we won't mention anything else.
We won't mention it again.
We'll come back to that.
You carry on. I'm going to just.
Yes, Russell, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, stencils were quite a big part. Well, not a big part, but like a good section of the book, and we've used them on a few kits.
Yeah.
Over the period, but we've never really talked about it or shown it off. So Gary's obviously doing a bit live there, but we've done a series of 5 videos on how to use them, 4 or 5 short videos. So
So I'm actually just going to, chat amongst yourselves, and because the magic of new technology, you can see me doing stuff as well. It's great.
There you go. Move it to your right a little bit, Gary.
My right.
Paper. Move the stencil to the right bit. There you go. Perfect. Right in the middle. Spot on.
Yeah, I was doing. So these have been. We've been working on these, getting these so that you can key them in properly, so that the bottoms and the tops all line up. So you just move them down, key them in, and keep going. And also the same across too.
Yeah. They get your repeat patterns.
They're going to be a little bit larger than some of the others that I've been using too, which is good. So there's things like that's a stone. Love that. Tudor buildings and pavements and different things.
Are you just dry brushing across the top of that, Gary?
Yeah, literally. It is. My way of dry brushing, as we know, is like sweeping the broom, or scrubbing the floor, as someone once called it.
Just literally scrubbing.
Or MB, mullering a brush. But yeah, that's literally all I'm doing. And the quite fun thing is that when we'll work with a different colour on top, and you can see you line it back up again.
That's one of those little tricks that you're going to show us in those video series where you move the stencil just a little bit.
Because if you get it right, and it isn't hard to do it right, you start getting shading or just different effects with it. And I quite often use it now. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. I'll hide the rest of it. But today I was working on something there. Can you see that?
That's it. Yes.
I'm patchworking rather than anything else. I'm just patchworking the building. It just gives it a nicer effect.
You did that. I've got this here. A minute. Get a patch. You did the same sort of thing on this, where you don't necessarily have to do the whole lot. It's just little lighter and darker areas, and your eye sees it and fills in the gaps. And you know.
When I was growing up, my hero was Tony Hart. Anybody not in the UK may not know who he is.
Tony and Morph.
Yeah, that shows your age, Rich. You're younger than us. It was Vision On.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he started watching an art program in my day on a rented black and white TV. But there we go.
Yeah, it's like watching snooker on a black and white. Yeah.
So I mean, these are all the good thing. I mean, I'm doing this one. If you imagine Mediterranean buildings, folks, and you want the roof tiles, not the roof tiles, sorry, paving tiles. You know, terracotta.
Tiles, yeah.
Then that is quite a quick and easy one.
Yeah,
that's like the tiles inside the house, isn't it?
Yeah.
So and you can't. The thing with these stencils is they're pretty hard wearing. You could actually build up a few layers of paint, put it on, and actually build texture onto. Some of the ones here have actually got a bit of texture because there's a couple of layers of paint.
Yeah, if you don't wash it off, if you leave the paint to build a little bit, you get nice textures. Of course, you can just wash them off and keep them clean, depending on the paint you've used.
And there is a little video of that, actually, the way of achieving that. So
fantastic.
Tune in.
So whilst Gary's playing about there, obviously the stencils cover a nice portion of the book, and we'll be going back to the book and looking at that a little bit more detail over the PATMOCON weekend. I believe you've got some stencils there that change a bit of scale as well, or a bit smaller.
Yeah, they're not the ones we're playing with at the moment, because we're sort of
working, right now. No, but
no, we're working within a range, but there are different scales that other people can. What's so funny is that there's a point where it gets silly to go any smaller.
the interesting thing about scale,
it's one of those things where your eye fudges it anyway, so you can start actually your brain takes over. I was just thinking there, you got that sort of thing. So if you did a stone wall, and
Gregory's just asking where the stencils come from, so we just point about that. Yeah, tell him. It's a range of stencils that we've just finished off, so they'll be available very soon.
Yeah,
in different scales and styles. So, and
that's where we've got a nice building there on the right of the screen.
An unreleased brand new one. It's
not in the Warlord range just yet.
No
instructions for it yet. It did go together ish.
Oh, yeah.
It's a small, a famous church from an American Civil War battle, so somebody might recognize it.
There you go, guys.
Might swap pictures in a minute as well.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. There we go.
He's back.
Hey,
the building's changed as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's a nice one. Again, using some of your stencil work.
Yeah. Again, that's just patch stenciling. And again, do it, overlay it with another colour. And it just gives a bit more feel, really.
And some lovely pencil work to highlight files and things.
A lot of crayon work just at the moment.
And of course, that brings us a bit with the scaling, of course. You're starting to see a few things that are coming up. We'll talk a bit more about that during PATMOCON, about some of the new things that are coming. Steve was floating around with a box set a little bit ago. Russell's, I'm sure, looking forward to seeing that again.
What's that?
So we keep getting asked about scale, and we always talk about the change of scale and the requirements of it. And there's quite a bit of work to do, isn't there, from taking something that's 28mm and bringing it down in scale. It's not just a shrinko job and get the shrink ray out, Steve. Off we go.
Yeah, I did actually design a shrink ray years ago.
Yes, it's patent pending, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think maybe we should say, Steve, if enough people put their name below, then we might actually be able to look at the 20mm Alamo, because it's quite a bit of work.
We get asked for kits in different scales, and a lot of the time it's not that it's a difficult job, and it's not even that we don't want to do it. It's just sometimes fitting it into a schedule where sort of trade partners, we're working with schedules on something else. And we've got stuff that's in a schedule, and sometimes random things can just float in and we can do them. But sometimes doing a rescaling a range is quite a lot of work. It's not necessarily complicated, but it needs a lot. It needs a lot of effort because the assembly might change, so that means new instructions. The detailing might not work. Gary's gone into it in a video as well. We actually talk about this as well in a video. Yeah. So it's not we don't want to, and it's not we can't do it. It's just fitting it into it, because only doing one or two out of a range of, if you take the Mediterranean, the moment there's 50 odd codes. To change 80. That to 80. Oh well, there you go. Yeah. It's like, it's up close to 100 codes, and rescaling them would require pretty much as much work as it's done to do that. So we need to go back and do it all again.
It's not just the 80 odd codes that we've literally just in the process of releasing right now, but the things like the Mediterranean Farm and Villa that have been a steadfast sort of 28mm component for years now. And all the other components, the release we did on the train tiles.
Yeah.
But
we have talked about it, and there is a lot of stuff coming over the next 3-4 months that's not 28mm. There is 28mm stuff, but there's a lot that's not as well. So I think we'll be hopefully be a lot of people that will be smiling a little bit more, and we'll stop there. Please make this. Thing is, if you release it in 15, the first comment will be, "Are you doing it in 28mm?"
Yeah, and everything vice versa. It's that everything. So yeah.
So we'll try and please as many people as we can. But the Alamo, we've chatted about that this week, and we've got a plan. So people need to look out for that. We'll make a bit of a chat about that.
I think it just says that if you want a 20mm one, stick your name below in the comments, and
I want the Alamo.
Who wants it? And then if enough people are shouting, then it's going to happen, I'm sure. And so with plenty to come, he's alluded to some more scales as well. I know Gary's got quite a bit hiding amongst the background, but we're not going to show too much more because we'll be looking at some of that during PATMOCON, I'm sure. We'll tease a bit more out of you.
Yeah, there's bits and pieces there. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to, as Steve was saying, to say as we rescale, I throw everything back into 3D, and it's what I'm working on at the moment. Although it's reduced, I am finding teeny things all over the place that, although you keep your head as straight as you can, it becomes a bit of a mess when every kit has, say, 20 lugs in it, and then there's 20 kits, and although there's similarities, things move about. And so we like to throw a lot of it back into 3D, double check it there to iron out a lot of those issues, and then we cut it, and then we find any more issues. So every scaling,
quite a process, doesn't it?
And it's taking it seriously each time we do it. It's not just a scale down and hope.
Yeah, you can't, because you could do a lazy rescale. You could literally rescale something and just change the materials you use and do it in a bit of a lazy way, and it would work and it would go together, but it wouldn't look right in places. Yeah,
and I think it's when it is scaled down as well, because we tag everything on sheets, and we have to remove that tagging to then put it back into 3D and vice versa, and all the scaling. And then AJ comes in and he rebuilds it, or Rich helps him, or somebody supports AJ and works on the test builds. And then what happens is that it has to be retagged, because a scale down, you can't, all those tags would disappear. So they all have to be replaced. So
what we do is we try and cut it without AJ having first checked it, so he can lift it out of the bed and all the bits fall out.
Yeah.
And when the 15mm bits, that's just a lot.
and I think, it is important. It's important to me as a designer to make sure that we take as much care of something that's down to, I've got one here that is literally almost matchbox size, and it comes from something that's that big down to that big. And I've taken as much care making sure there's tolerance and stuff going on on each one. So it's
they do look spectacular, everybody. So I can't wait to show those off to everybody as we get closer to the time. And speaking of time, we're probably running a little bit over for ours, and we've got lots to talk about in PATMOCON, and our next one, which we'll put the date up later in April. I think mid-April. We haven't picked a date yet, have we, for our next show?
No.
We'll wait one up.
On Monday, I'll see how I feel on Monday night.
Yes, that's a big thing. That is a big thing.
So luckily, we don't need to worry at all about people's orders, because we're cranking everything out as we are in the current location where Steve is now in the factory, and we'll literally be swapping over and seeing the machines we set up.
Like at the moment, the early shift on Monday is cutting until 10 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, we start turning lasers off. And at 12 o'clock, they start getting turned on at the new factory. So we'll lose about 2 hours.
That'll be just the 2 lasers we've got, isn't it?
Everybody saw the wood that we had delivered. That's just a week's worth. So we'll be fine.
That's like those fake packs of money, Rich. It's not really. It's just corrugated cardboard box underneath it all.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave will have a word with you and the guys when they start to cut a lot of it. Yeah.
The tonnage we're going through. But
yes, it's a fair whack of stuff, isn't it? Hence the move and the upgrades. But we're really looking forward to having a bit of space to work in. Yeah. And being able to have deliveries like that and be shipping pallets out as well. So that's going to be something novel, something new.
Yeah, we'll do a little tour over the next week or so. Once we're in, we'll show you the tea making facilities will be the first thing to be sorted, I'm sure.
And the fridge.
All right, guys, I think it'll be good night from us.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Take care, guys.
And we'll see you soon.